Good morning, everyone. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mama Sanctuary with our guest expert today, Adele Darbyshire from Find Your Inner Sparkle. Adele's really kindly agreed to come in and show you some 2-minute mindful stretches for our Mindful Habit Creation Week this week. Adele, welcome. Thanks for being here. Do you
Thank
want
you.
to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are, why you do what you do, why you do it.
Yes, thank you for having me, Michelle. It's lovely to be here. Loving the name, the little unshakable mama and the mama sanctuary. That is so nice and very dear to my heart for what I do. I'm a yoga teacher and therapeutic yoga teacher, having done a lot of training in the system of yoga, um, over the years and my passion is mental health, really. So, although I help many people with, their bodies and issues with the body, I'm very passionate about the mental health side, and that comes from my own journey. So, why I do what I do is because of, like a lot of us do, because of myself struggling with anxiety, burnout from corporate days, kind of sensitivity and things like that, and not knowing how to handle all that. And the juggle and the struggle of having young children, studying towards doing a fledgling business, if you like, and holding down my corporate job. It was a lot. So going back quite a few years, I was really struggling, and was looking for answers and kind of looking here and there and all over the place. And yoga gave me those answers largely, as well as some other tools, some practical tools that I think everyone needs to be able to manage their stress, manage their anxiety, manage their load, which, is obviously a lot of what you talk about in your lovely space. So it's great to be here inputting a little bit of mindful movement into that for your ladies.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So, in your words, what would you say the importance of this particular mindful habit is? So, we're all about mindfully stretching. So, basically, as you've said, mindful movement, moving your
Mindful
body with
movement,
with
yeah.
intention. Yeah. So, what, in your words, is the importance of it?
I think mindfulness in general. So mindful movement, obviously that's the focus of this week. It's the move in the body, which is great because sometimes we can't shift things just from our mind, just from sitting and thinking, and meditation's great, but sometimes we struggle with that. So moving and breathing, which we're going to do today, the two together, very powerful. It can just help us to be more present, releasing obviously tension and tightness from the body that we hold. Like mine's always in my shoulder there. I'm aware of that. Awareness is absolutely everything because we can't shift until we're aware of something. So mindfulness in general, though, just being more aware and being more mindful and practicing little mindful habits to help you to get into that habit of mindfulness, even if you're just driving your car from A to B.
Yeah.
I try and practice this because otherwise you're just at the mercy of this. So your mind just goes off into its little stories. It's off into the future, making stuff up, or it's going over the past
Yes.
that's already gone. And we need to be more present, and that will help us to stay steadier and calm and grounded. So just mindfulness in general is super, super powerful. Otherwise, we're just at the mercy of the subconscious.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that can just be our habits. We call them in yoga samskaras. So they're our habits, they're our grooves, these latent impressions that get laid down from birth in the mind that just keep going round and round, and we're not going to be able to get out of those if we just keep following them without bringing ourselves into the present and noticing them. And we can do that through movement, we can do that through meditation, through breath. So there's lots of different ways. But yeah, be mindful.
Yeah, well, I was just walking to the fridge to make a cup of tea or coffee, whatever, this morning, and I was just the way I was walking and moving. I was thinking about it very mindfully, very
Mm.
intentionally. I was placing my feet on the ground. I was opening, how I moved my arm to open the fridge. And even that, it can be as simple as that. And
Oh, yeah. And
that's what,
it's really hard to do. It's hard to
yeah.
keep that up. My teachers say, can we be mindful, properly mindful for a full 5 minutes?
Mm.
And usually the answer's no, because at some point we'll just lose it.
Yeah. And I think that when we are actually moving, it's a lot easier to be mindful than if you're just sitting, like you
Yeah,
said, because you're
yeah,
actually thinking about how to move,
yeah. And
and
then
that is
combine
the
that with
anchor.
breathing,
Yeah,
it's even more
it's
powerful.
so powerful.
People find it easier to focus. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's incredible. And how would you say that mindful movements, stretching has benefited you personally and your family? Because one of the things I'm really, really passionate about is how, as mums, as women, we get, as mums in particular, we get to role model to our children, and show them the importance of well-being, of relaxation, of rest, of mindfulness and intentionality in how you live your life. So how would you, or what have you noticed in your own
Oh
family?
gosh,
It's like, where
just
to start,
probably,
isn't it?
yeah, don't really know where to start because it just feels, I think if I compare how I was 10 years ago, let's say. Now I've practiced yoga for 20 years, but when people practice yoga in the beginning, I was like a lot of people who went to a class once a week
Mm,
and did my class there on the mat, and then I left it and then went back to my normal life and didn't do things in between. So what we're talking about is implementing little yoga snacks, mindful habits. That is powerful because if you just go there and do that and you think, oh, I've done my yoga for the week, it doesn't spill over into the rest of your life. It doesn't integrate. And that's what I did, when my teacher would come into my busy workplace, she'd do us an hour, and I do that now for people.
yeah,
And then you're like, practice in between and do a little bit. And they're like, yeah, yeah, best intentions. And then life gets in the way and they don't. And I get it because I did it.
yeah.
But when I started to train as a teacher and deepen my practice 10 years ago, from there and from the shifts that I've had as I've grown and deepened my practice over those years, like you could ask my kids, I used to be more reactive. So I would lose my temper quicker. I'd be shouting at them, less empathetic. I think I heard you talk about something on one of your videos actually, about dropping the cereal on the floor, something like that, like
Yeah,
one of the kids might do.
yeah.
And that I remembered a time where that had happened and I'd been doing a lot more of this work and I was so stressed because it was the school morning, it was all lastminute.com. And I remember this quite clearly because there was always this, one of them needs to go for a number two and you've got
Mm,
to get out the door and you're like,
yeah.
not now. And it's so easy just to be like, rah, and then that happens and they drop the cereal. And I was able to just catch myself in the moment and be like, you take a breath,
Yeah,
we let it go, and then we're more rational. So the logical part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, is able to think about what you're doing. It's not anyone's fault. It's not a big deal. We can clean this up later or whatever. And if we're 2 minutes late for school, 5 minutes, because I used to be like, I have to be there on time because I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to be in trouble, rule follower.
mm,
And with these practices, the ability to do that and to hold space for what's happening and calm your nervous system for one, and to not fly off the handle and to say, it's okay. And like you said, then you're modeling a completely different way of dealing with things. And that's just grown and grown and grown. So things like me and my husband, we just never really argue anymore. I actually worry the other way round because I was talking about this the other day, thinking my children don't see any conflict. So they're not going to know how to resolve because
interesting.
I'm very good at stepping in if they're having a conflict and saying, now hang on, this is what they're thinking, and you're not seeing it from their side and all of that. And that's lovely, but they're going to go out there and have to deal with conflict. So
Yeah.
it's
That's interesting, actually. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
yeah, so it's not a bad thing for them to see a bit of disagreement, and how do we handle that, and how can we get our point across in an assertive way, but not, be argumentative and things like that. So I think I've kind of done so much work on myself now that it's gone the other way. So
Yeah.
they would say, oh gosh, yeah, night and day in terms of how it's changed me as a person. So this work of deepening my practice, I practice every day something.
Yeah.
And some days that's not a lot. So some days it's not an hour's yoga practice, it's 10 minutes, or it's
Yeah.
just a breath practice, or it's just a meditation. And that's still like enough to take you into the rest of your day and to be more aware and be more mindful.
Yeah. And then if you need it, you can pull out another tool out of your toolbox, can't you? That's the thing. Everything
Yeah.
that you said resonates on such a deep level with me. And it's pretty much mirrored in our household as well. Like I've got so much more patience with my children, less snappy,
Yeah, more
I
fun, more laughter. It's
yeah,
just
it's
incredible.
it
So
really is
yeah.
like life changing. And what I would like to add for you, for your business as well, is that I love yoga classes, and I love yoga retreats and everything. And what I found is, I mean, I used to get upset with myself and beat myself up because I really knew that I should be going to a yoga class because it would do me the world of good, or I should be doing a longer practice, but I just didn't get around to it, like you said. So now what I find is that because I'm like consistently regulated in my nervous system, when I get myself to a yoga class or a massage or a retreat day, I sink into it so much faster, so much deeper, and I get so many more benefits from it. So that's just like a powerful thing that I've noticed, like that's very, in line with your business.
Yeah, and it's just
Um,
this funny misconception that I think we have when we think of our yoga practice, that we have to do an hour. And that I think that's because we go to a class that's an
yeah,
hour, but
yeah,
why? We can
yeah,
do 10 minutes, we can do whatever time we've got, but
yeah,
people don't think that, do they? So mindful movement, calling it something else, it doesn't matter as long as people do it and feel the benefits. And then you're not going to have as much pain in your body, stiffness, tightness, tension. You're going to feel better. You're going to be able to breathe a bit deeper, a bit calmer. And it's just gonna, a little bit is going to go a long, long way.
definitely. Little and often, short and sweet. That is absolutely the name of the game. Like sustainable
Yeah,
habits.
everyone's so busy these
Like,
days.
yeah,
You've
I
just got
know.
to get in what you can, rather than saying I don't have time for anything.
Busy and distracted. And that
Mm.
was with the whole phone detox I did a couple of weeks ago. Like, I realized how much time I could create just from eliminating that
It's
distraction, going
lovely,
off
isn't it, when
social
you're like,
media.
I'm not going to go on there for a full week, or I'm out of office.
Yeah, well, but it wasn't even. So I like digress a little bit now. But it was just set times of the day, like before
Ah, yeah,
school,
little
and
phone detail.
yeah,
Yes, there you
yeah, and
go.
that was
Yeah.
like little and often, and it made such a massive difference.
Hmm.
So coming back to mindful stretch and mindful movement, what would you say the common challenges are for mums trying to create this
I think
habit
we've kind of
of
just
it?
covered it in a
Yeah.
way. I think everything we've just said about not thinking that you have to do a long time
Mm,
would be a big challenge. The only other thing I would add is maybe people thinking that they don't know what to do, in terms of like having to follow someone else or a video, or
one.
there's things that you can do once you've done a few practices or classes. Obviously, having a good teacher is wonderful, but there are things that you can do that just are intuitive.
Mm.
Um, like when you wake up in the morning and you kind of just feel like, oh, like the animals do it. We call it pandiculation, where it's like a,
One word.
oh, pandiculate. So
That.
just do some of that, and
But
just make time to do
with
it.
intention behind it rather than, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, so like the word mindfulness, it's getting quite trendy now, isn't it? But really mindful movement in terms of yeah, I'm just gonna give myself 5, 10 minutes. I sometimes call it rolling around on the floor. So if
Mm.
you can get down to the floor, get on the floor, then you can even do it in your bed, you can do some rolling
Mm.
around, some twisting, some just lying and doing some breathing. But again, you can do it before you've even got up, just some intentional practice.
Just whatever feels good, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yes.
Like you say, use the word intuitive, but it's
Your body
basically what,
knows
yeah, your body
what
is
you
your
need.
absolute best teacher in life.
Hmm.
And we've lost touch with that. So that's what you and I are trying to like help women
Because
get
of
back
the
into.
busyness and the distracted,
Yeah.
it's like wake up. Most people obviously reach for this thing, scroll, scroll, scroll. People say they've
Mhm.
not got time, but if you check your screen time, you've been on TikTok for 3 hours. Like my kids
Yeah.
sometimes show they've been on TikTok for 2 hours. And it's kind of like, oh God, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's amazing. So yeah, you do have time for this. So you're gonna show us some stretches, aren't you, for that we can do just 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Have we got let's put a timer on because I'm a big fan of a timer.
yeah,
Have
that's
you
okay. I will do my best. I was
have
like,
you
right, I'm up for the challenge of this really short.
have you
We're going
got
to do three different little movements, aren't we?
yeah, have you got a timer that you can use there, or and I'll let you
No,
use this. Do you
I'm
on your
not got.
phone?
Um, yeah, I could use my phone, or if you want to just wave at me or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then.
Does that?
I'll put a 2 minute timer on. I am a massive fan. If you've been working with me for a while or you've seen me in action, I use a timer for everything, whether it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you know that actually 2 minutes isn't a very long time. When you're actually in the 2 minutes, it feels even less time. um, and it means that you have that absolute reassurance that you're not going to be late for anything. So here goes. I'll put the timer on. I'm going to join in as well, though.
We'll do what we can in the 2 minutes.
Yeah, here we go.
Let me just grab my watch and then tell me when to go.
Okay.
Also, just probably, we don't want to feel like that adding that time and that, oh my God, I need to get it done in the 2 minutes. So probably, 2 minutes-ish. And if you are timing things yourself, for your ladies that are listening, it depends if you're someone that, kind of feels that
Mm.
people pleasing, rule following tendency like I do. You might want to just set yourself like 5 minutes so that you've got 2 to 5 minutes or something like that. And then you can choose, do I do
Yeah.
2 minutes or 5 minutes? Be a bit more relaxed about it, maybe.
Yeah, and what I do is quite often if I set my timer and I feel like I need more, I'll just set it again for another
Yeah.
length of time. So yeah, just what feels good. But at least then with 2 minutes, we know that we've 100% got a time to do it, if that makes sense. So I'm ready when you are.
Okay, doke, let's go. So we're
Okay.
doing energizing first. So if you just stand, posture is important when it comes to our energy. So if you let your head come down and you relax your shoulders and you kind of slouch, look towards the floor and try saying to yourself, I feel great.
I feel
I
great.
feel really great. I'm really looking forward to today. Notice if that feels true when you're in this kind of slouched posture. And then lift up, open your collarbones and your shoulders, stretch your arms in a diagonal, like a yawning type stretch. And now try a little smile, saying to yourself, I feel great. You could say it out
I
loud or
feel
to yourself.
great.
I'm really looking forward to today. And then stretch the other way. I feel great. And just see how more true that feels in your body than if you do it when you're slumping. And then let's have a little shake. So shake the hands, shake the shoulders. So we're getting a little bit of energy into the body. You can even jump if you want to. You can jump around, kind of a little fun. Definitely smile. And then take the feet nice and wide and just take a twist. Good. And then taking the arms on an inhale, take them up. We're going to make little fists. So breathe in. Make little fists, and as you exhale, bring the fist down in little bursts like this until you've exhaled all the air out. So that's a little bit of fast breathing, but safe fast breathing. So let's do that again. So it's little bursts of air. Is that the timer?
That is the timer.
Oh, look, I did it.
Oh, well, I certainly feel
The
energized.
fast breathing, there's a lot of fast breathing out there that are not really very good for people's nervous systems, because if we do too much fast breathing and we don't come back and regulate our breath, and we regulate our nervous system and we just do loads of fast breathing, you know, the stuff that's all associated with the cold water swimming and things like that, that's a lot of holding and then all of that kind of stuff. It can be dangerous for people's nervous systems. It can dysregulate people and cause all sorts of problems if you do too much of it. So that fast breathing there, where we just, it gives us energy, it stimulates our nervous system. So we're ramping our nervous system up because you've asked for energizing. But in a safe way, and you just maybe do, you know, 2 or 3 of those with some of that stretching and jumping, and you should feel more awake, more alert.
Feels great. I definitely feel more invigorated for sure. So yeah.
Thanks
for that.
So yeah, it's just being aware. Look, that kind of a practice is going to wake us up if we're feeling tired. Maybe you do it in the morning, maybe mid-afternoon if you're having a bit of a slump, and it depends on what you need. So the next one we're going to do is calming.
Okay, right. Here's our timer then. Okay.
So we're going to do some regulated breathing now. So we're going to take the arms up and a slow breath in through the nose. And then through the nose, just exhale and lower the arms down. Now, if you want to, close your eyes with this or just soften the gaze and begin to just feel into how long your in-breath is. So maybe it's a count of 4 or 5. And see if you can get your out-breath to be around the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be 6, it might be 7. If you've not done a lot of breathing before, it might just be 3 in and a 3 out. And that's okay, but just regulate the breath, make it the same in as it is out. And it doesn't matter what that number is. We're just regulating the breath there. Just do that a couple more times. And then if you have your count, now we're going to blow the breath out. The next time the arms come down, we're going to blow the breath out through pursed lips and try to make the out breath longer than the in breath. So a couple of seconds longer. So we're lengthening the exhale, which is calming for the nervous system. So the inhale might be 4 or 5, and the out breath might be 6 or 7. So just do a few more of those, and then we'll pause and just see if we can notice how that feels in the body and the nervous system. So when you're ready, let your arms just rest down. Take a breath and sigh. Notice how your body feels. Just breathe and notice. Okay. So how did that feel? A little calmer?
Yeah, I feel, it was nice to sort of invigorate and that's almost like a deepening then of soothing and regulating for me. That's how it feels.
Yeah, so lengthening the exhale is slowing and calming. And then the last one is for overwhelm. agitation, anxiety, that kind of thing.
Great stuff. Okay, I think
Yeah.
definitely we'll need this as well. So here goes. Okay.
So this is about meeting yourself where you're at. So if you're feeling really agitated and really anxious and really overwhelmed, just coming to sit quietly doesn't work sometimes. You just can't, it's going to make you feel worse. So it's a combination of the two, really. I would start with maybe some shaking and some big movements, kind of just getting rid of that tension, shaking the legs, shaking the arms. Again, maybe you jump. And then we can regulate our breathing using some big muscles. So we're going to use the legs, the biggest bones and muscles here in the thighs. So that'll take some of our energy. So we've got too much energy. So we're breathing again, just take the arms out and up, same as we just did. But this time come into a little squat. So as you exhale, and you could blow the breath out just like we did before, come into your chair pose, into a squat. And then again, breathe in as you come up. Feel free to close the eyes or just soften the gaze. Blow the breath out so you're calming the nervous system down, regulating the breath, moving towards a little bit towards stillness and slowness, but giving the body something to do. Okay. One more of those. Good. And then come back up to stand, and we'll do a forward fold. So breathe in and take your arms up. This time bend the knees and fold forwards and kind of sigh the breath out. Ah. Bend the knees, breathe in, come up. And again, sigh as you fold. Ah. Let go of any tension in the neck and the shoulders. Bend the knees, protect the back as you come up. Come up with a long spine. One more. Ah, let it go. And then bend the knees and just roll up, so spinal roll up. And then again, I would just finish with a little awareness, maybe place the hands on the body and just notice how you feel. Just breathe. And just checking in, how am I doing now? How do I feel after that little practice? Right.
Thank you so much for sharing those with us. I feel lovely. I feel ready for all my meetings that I have today. Ah, it's lovely. It's just a really nice variety there of very similar but very different benefits, different feelings when you're intentional behind
Yeah.
what it
So
is that
it's
you're trying to
really
achieve.
good to know that you can put a little practice together, but with some simple principles, which has come from my therapeutic yoga training, of what to do if someone feels sluggish, tired, what kind of things can we do? What if they feel overstimulated, needing to calm and that kind of thing. So it's basic principles that you can just put together something very simple using that, that we did at the start. If you we know the posture of someone that's depressed and sad and kind of slumped, and if you say to yourself, I feel really great, you kind of think, no, I don't. And if you just lift posture, open posture, nice smile, big breath in, that alone is going to shift your energy and your mood.
And it changes the tone of your voice as well. It changes like the how confident you feel and everything
Mm.
just by that simple adjustment in how you're standing. That your voice projects further and you have more of
Yeah,
a
you kind of
positive voice.
mean it more, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really incredible. It's just so simple, yet so powerful. So thank you so much for sharing those with us. Do you have any last words of wisdom for us before we say cheerio today?
My one word of wisdom is awareness.
Yeah,
Awareness, awareness, awareness. Say it
yeah.
3 times. you need to be aware and check in. My teachers call it watching over yourself, which I love. And if you need help remembering that, literally put it on a post-it note and pop it around your house.
Yeah,
Check in, watch over myself, awareness, whatever works for you.
I love
And
that.
then you can be more in control of how you feel because you know how you feel. And then you can reach for the tools that you need to help shift and bring you back to balance.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I say all the time, we were saying earlier, when we awareness is key for everything. And it's that what my coach at the moment, my coach is, she says, loving witness, you're lovingly witness yourself. And it's all about observing how you're
Yeah.
feeling, who you're being, how you're reacting, how you're
Which is
responding,
it
how
it
you're
is
coming.
meditation, it is mindfulness, and that's the skill to practice because then the more you practice that, the more you can do that for yourself through the day.
And the key there is that it is a practice. It is a practice, and it always will be. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this for, it still remains a practice because you are
You're
still
still
have,
human.
you're still human. Yeah, and you still have the everyday
Human
challenges, the
moments.
unexpected, the emotions that, and your emotions, your children's emotions, your partner's emotions, and there's always going to be external factors, and so we're constantly practicing, and that's why it's so key to be aware. So fantastic, thank you so much. And where can people find you, Adele?
If you look up Find Your Inner Sparkle, it's in my little pad.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love that.
On lots of the things, they're slightly different. Find Your Inner Sparkle with Adele, I think it is on Instagram. I have a business page on Facebook called Find Your Inner Sparkle. I've got a group, I think at the moment it's called Manage Your Mind and Find Your Inner Sparkle, but I'm always
Mhm.
playing around with that.
Yeah.
I have YouTube, I'm on TikTok, so like all of the things in all of the places, but hopefully if you use that search term, you will find me.
Yeah. I'll drop links under this video as well, so people can
Yeah, and
find
it'd be
you.
lovely to hear from your ladies if they want to pop a comment in where they see this video, or send me a message to let me know how they found things. That would be lovely to hear from people. I'm always up for that.
Yeah, so you've got an online membership, haven't you? A yoga membership.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
And
VIP membership where there's just kind of lots of practices like that of different lengths. So like there's 100 different yoga practices, snacks. The longest one is like 40 minutes, but they tend to be either 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, even 5 minutes. Breath practices, meditations, and for all the different things.
yeah, that sounds like a very, very useful toolbox there. So fantastic. So yeah, so I can drop all the information in the comments.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me and for sharing your wisdom. I'm really grateful, and I'm sure that everyone will find it very useful. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Bye,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.